getting to engage with you guys, and will proceed out how we can actually make the environment more better and everything in more detail. Okay, so let's enjoy the session. And whatever your queries will be, there is an option of questions. So you can just switch on to the questions and can ask as many questions as you want. Okay. So this can actually be one of the most beneficial webinar for all of you, whosoever is attending. And this how we can actually make up an environment, a kind of a learning environment. So I hope that I am audible to you, and I am visible to you. So once again, thank you so much, Elite SPM, for providing us this opportunity. I welcome Babulal sir, Mohammad Anas, and Zain Shahid, all the respective officials of Elite SPM. So guys, currently I am India's youngest cybersecurity author at 17, a TEDx speaker, and Google certified IT specialist. So today the session will be all about recent ongoing scams. Okay, and now when comparing it to the Zoom flaws or the Zoom security flaws, which we will be discussing in the later part of this video. Okay, so let's do one thing. So we are receiving a lot of questions, and I will definitely be taking all the questions, definitely. So now let's start with the main part, and the point is starting all with the cyber security. So hey guys, I'm Dipanshu Parashar. Okay, so guys, the point is that in this 2020, when the coronavirus has actually increased tremendously, okay, so what has happened out is that a lot of more scams have been increasing tremendously. Like you must have gone through the lot of fake emails attack and a lot of more things which actually are needed to be stopped. Okay, so that's how we can actually, are getting trapped in these kind of scams. So this is all about recent ongoing scams highlighting COVID-19 and Zoom. Okay, and as soon as like everywhere, we all must have heard about that how Zoom has actually came into a place during this lockdown. Since lockdown has created up an opportunity for all the people to work from home, and thus Zoom has came into a place, turning over from 1 billion to 20 crores Indians who have already been registered in Zoom. But as far as that, the point is that just utilizing Zoom in this particular lockdown, it has also come with the view of or the perception of cybersecurity. So here we will be discussing more in detail, which you can never find available on internet. That's what a kind of a deep research work we guys have prepared to serve in front of you. So let's start with the recent ongoing scams. Okay, so what we will learn in this particular session, so this session can be as long as around 1 hour or 1 hour 15 minutes. So in the next 1 hour, we will be understanding internet fraud, email phishing scams, telemarketing and phone scams. So telemarketing and phone scams like email phishing attacks, these all are the common stuff which you must have gone through. But telemarketing and phone scams are something new to you and will definitely be a kind of an enjoying moment. So then after that, common coronavirus scams, then popular banking scams, unsolicited text messages, coronavirus stimulus payment scams, and at the last, Zoom meeting securities and vulnerabilities. Okay, so let's do one thing. We are just getting up started, so let's proceed. So just as a kind of a basic introduction, you all are aware what internet is. Around 15% is the usable internet, and 85% is a dark or deep net. So dark or deep net, you are actually in this particular webinar. You all are cybersecurity geeks, cybersecurity passionates. Then you are already aware what dark or deep net is. So this is a kind of a basic guide to just make you aware with the dark and deep net. So dark and deep net is something which is not actually accessible to anyone, and 85% of the total internet has been captured in the dark or deep net. And the point is that we should not use it. Okay, so let's proceed out. Motive of our workshop is to spread cyber awareness and to tackle daily ongoing scams. I will be making you explain, like I will explain you everything, how to detect these scams, how to detect these scams, as well as how you can prevent others by creating out few of your own tools, by creating up your own softwares, and can just be preventive at your own cost. So let's just start. Before starting out, what the thing which I just need to make you aware is coronavirus is something very new to us, right? Just from the last year, like in December 2019, it came into a place. But cyber attacks have been increasing from the last decade itself, from 2010. And JP Morgan, one of the finest company in the world today, has been even attacked with the cybercrime case in 2016. So these are few of the boring statistics, but are indeed very necessary to understand. Then there are kind of a case study in the past few years where data has been stealed out and a lot of controversies have been arising out. You all are aware with the Facebook data stealing kind of stuff, which have been came into the view, due to which Mark Zuckerberg has to face out the court laws, right? But now let's start with the phases of workshop. So, guys, again, I'm welcoming you in this particular session where the first phase will be regarding ongoing scams. The second will be Zoom security flaws, and the third will be preventive ways. Okay. So, hacking common attacks. These common attacks are including this kind of system, which we are discussing in the ongoing scams category. So phishing from WHO, WHO stands for World Health Organization. Then email spoofing, I will be making you aware how to spoof your email address and how to be preventive from spoofing of email address. Then telemarketing, and then email SMS bombing, and then social media takeover that has been enrolled in this particular session of the first phase of this workshop. So now let us start. First thing is, don't click links in unsolicited text messages. Let's know more about. Okay, so let's start, guys. Okay, so I'm just starting with the email spoofing cases. Okay, so you all are aware that how yeah. So okay, I'm getting up a lot of questions, and that's true. Okay, so great. So we all are aware that we all are utilizing emails, right? We all are having up emails, we all are using Gmails. But when it comes to the Gmail part, there are three records. Okay, let's consider as a scenario. Whenever you are actually building up an email provider, whenever you are joining into a Gmail, signing up your Google account or Zoho account, any kind of service provider you are utilizing, they provide you three records. The first thing is SPF. What is it? SPF stands for Sender Policy Framework. So, guys, let's like dive into the technical terms. So, we all are aware that emails are working on the protocol that is known as SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, right? And SMTP is connected to three.
Hello, Dipanshu. Hello, everyone. This side Mohammed Anas. Am I audible to you all? If I'm audible, just drop a comment. Okay, great. Myself, Mohammed Anas, and I think I'm audible. And Dipanshu is having some network issue right now. So hopefully he will be resolving it soon, and will be back in few minutes or so. In the meantime, I'll just introduce with some other stuff, like why we have created this session is in this pandemic we all are using Zoom application for our classes and all, and most of the organizations are also using the Zoom application. So basically, what the concern is, the technology that we are using nowadays is for like it's for the spying purpose, and it's not safe. So we need to get aware of it, like uh, what is the safe platform available in the market to use, and what are the platforms those who are not safe. Okay. I'm Mohammed Anas. I'm speaking right now, and I'm the founder of this company, Light SPM. So right now, Dipanshu has some issue on our internet, so I'm just continuing on his behalf. Okay, and basically, this is the main concern of this session. We have kept this session to just make you aware of these scams and ongoing scams on Zoom and other applications, which is related to the internet and cybersecurity. And
Hello.
we will also highlight some of the other technologies that are playing major role in this emerging.
Hello.
Yes, Dipanshu.
Okay, so am I audible now?
Yes, great. You are audible now.
Okay,
Let
like
me move
I'm
to the
seriously not
slide
aware
number.
what happened. So by the way, am I visible to you guys?
Yes, you are visible and you are absolutely audible as well. Just continue with the slide number 11.
Okay, okay, sure. So is my screen appearing? Like is the broadcasting going
Yes,
fine?
yes, everything is fine. Just
Okay, so I am continuing with the slide 11 again.
great. Yes,
Great.
please.
So yeah. So thank you so much, Anna sir, for holding out the session in between, and I'm really apologizing for all the audience. So yeah,
Uh,
so guys, we are just continuing with the sender policy framework. So I was just talking about how these stuffs are actually going on. So the point is, uh, okay. So guys, the point is that when we are actually building up, or when we are coming over the mail, or we are signing up into any kind of a Gmail account too. So we are provided with three records, as I have explained you earlier. That is sender policy framework. So sender policy framework is like an authorization to Gmail provider that yes, person can actually enroll in your Google account and can interact with the other users like via the mail conversations. Okay. The next thing is DKIM. What is domain key identified mail? So domain key identified mail. We all are aware what domains are, what hostings are, right? So domain key identified mail is okay. So great. So I would just like to make you aware, like, can you just comment out, guys, whether I am visible or audible? Like, receiving out a lot of chats.
yes, you are
Okay, okay,
absolutely
great then.
audible as
Great
well as
then.
visible.
Great.
Everything is working fine.
Yeah. So domain key identified mail. Okay, take it as an example now. Google.com. So Google.com, Google is a kind of a domain, right? Now, what internet allows is that DKIM is a kind of an internet authority which has been assigned by the internet to Google.com, that yes, using your Gmail, like using your domain, you can build a kind of a subsidiary which can be used to like to have a conversation with the other team members or with anyone via the mail functions. So as you can just see over there over the screen, this method uses a private and a public key fetched by a mail transfer agent. So here mail transfer agent is internet. These are compared, and only if it is a match, the mail will be sent on. So okay, so once again, there are a lot of things which you must have received in your spam folder. Why you are receiving the mails in spam folder? The people who are sending you the mails and which have been collected in the spam folder, these mails are actually sent by a kind of an authority which is not having DKIM facility. Okay, so that's why it is it is kind of getting into the spam folder. So what is now DMARC? Okay, guys, so SPF and DKIM is a kind of a so-called old technologies which has been utilized by Google service provider or any kind of mail service provider. And these technologies have been kind of getting reduced from the 2015, and a new kind of a technology has arrived that is known as DMARC, domain based message authentication, reporting and conformance. So as you can just understand by the statement that has been like domain based message authentication, reporting and conformance, this means that whatever the mail you are actually providing, that is completely like a certified domain. It has an authentication from the internet to use this service. It can be reported at a regular interval of time whenever you feel that yes, this particular mail is uh, kind of not an authorized mail, or this person is actually harassing me over internet using any kind of an abusive language, you can just report it using this DMARC record. And then it comes to the conformance. So conformance is from your side. Like if I am the client and you are sending me an email, so now my computer has a kind of an conformance system, that using this DMARC record, I am enabling out this particular conformance and allowing you to send me the mail. Okay, so I hope till now it's everything, like everything is clear. And if there would be any kind of question, then you guys can definitely comment out in the questions bar. So I will be glad to solve out any kind of query. So this is a kind of a basic diagram which I have just enrolled in. That is, I just taken up a Zimbra source. So the point is, you can just like just can take up a screenshot, or can take up like pressing out any kind of screenshot in Windows or Android, so that you can just understand it via a kind of an pictorial representation. So, okay. So before starting out anything, what I can guess is the next. Okay. So here we came into the first ongoing scam, that is World Health Organization scams. So we all are aware that coronavirus has taken up the place in the recent year, and how it is helping the attackers and victims to be prone to this hacking is due to the email templates which has been created by these hackers, and they are targeting your mailbox. Okay, so these kind of email templates have been targeted to you and have been sent to you in your email box, asking for your personal information and pretending themselves to be a World Health Organization representative. So as you can just see in the kind of a right image, I have just marked it as a fake. Dear sir, go through the attached document on safety measures regarding the spreading of coronavirus. Click on the button below to download. ठीक है, symptoms, common symptoms include fever, cough, shortness of breath, and breathing difficulties. Regards, and any kind of an official name. Similar is the case with this. Now, why I'm just showing it to you is, like, see, guys, we since you are appearing in this webinar, you all are aware that we all hackers have been building up the payloads. Payloads are the kind of small softwares in the kind of an app form, in the kind of a PDF form, which I can attach or which I can link behind this particular button, safety measures, so that as soon as my victim will be clicking on this link, the software or any kind of a phishing page will be appearing over his screen. And this how I can actually take the access of his account. Okay, so I will be showing you completely the practical of how
So,
to build.
Dipanshu,
Yes,
I have
sir.
a question.
Yeah.
Like, in order to identify the hacker, we have to look for these type of other enabled applications. Okay, in the email.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, is there any other clues for fake emails?
Oh, yeah, definitely, sir. Definitely. I will be showing you completely how to analyze the email from the header system. So, shall I share my screen?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm just sharing my screen, and I hope that my screen will be visible to you, right?
Yes. Just few seconds. Yes, it's working now.
Okay, great. So what I am just doing is I went to gmail.com. Okay, and just to save the time of this webinar, I will be just doing one thing. I have already pre-built few of the samples, and this how I can just save out the time and can definitely show it to you directly, and will tell you how to analyze the email headers. Okay, so how people are actually working. Okay, so let's take up an example. I even received up a kind of a mail from WHO directly. So it's open WHO, and as you can see over here, here it is a kind of, this is known as a email template. Like if you are sending something to anyone, okay, so you cannot send it in this kind of a format, like it is having up a CSS format, it is using JavaScript. So what, how to actually copy this email template, how actually hackers do this? Okay, what I'm just doing is I went to inspect. Inspect is a kind of an Google or social these kind of website features which is providing you the developer options. So I went out here and just clicked on this particular button so that I can just select any element from my screen, and I just went over there so that I can select out any kind of an stuff. So take it as an example, I selected over here, and now what I can just do is I will be doing one thing. Yeah. So as you can just see over there, TD. So I need to find something I need to scroll down as much as, like, see, as soon as my cursor is moving to this T body, I realize that yes, this is the thing which I actually require to copy, and then I can actually paste my this complete email header. Okay, so what I have just done is, it's not taking a lot of time. You just went to T body, click on right mouse click, edit as HTML. I just click on HTML and just Control A, Control C. So this, what I have just done is, I have actually completely, like, I have just copied this complete email template. Now what I am just going on, I am clicking on compose. Okay, for as an example, I have even uh, saved this as a kind of a pre-built format. So as you can see over there, I have copied each and everything perfectly. So this has been done before starting up this meeting so that I can just save out the time. Now what I'm just doing is, I take it as an example. I have just sending it to myself. So subject same, responding COVID-19 causes and yeah. So I just copied and just pasted. I am showing you the practical how hackers are actually doing this. Okay, and will let you know how to actually track them. So the point is, now what I am just doing, I am typing out anything randomly. You need to type out. Then again clicking on inspect. So I just went on inspect, selected up an element again, and I need to first open this particular message. Now I click on inspect. I went here and click here. So now I am just edit as HTML. Now you can see over here, this is the same message which I have typed here, GIKJ randomly, and same message with here. What I am just doing is, like, this was the complete this was the complete code which I pasted from there, which I copied from the main email template, right? So I just removed this particular word from here and pasted the email template here. And now just click anywhere. As you can just see over here, guys, I have successfully copied this email template, right? I have successfully
Great.
copied this email template. Now what the point is, like, take it, let's do one thing. As you can see, I think there is a link, right? Severe accuracy. Now I will change it to my phishing email wherever I have done phishing. So since this particular session is not about teaching out phishing, that is more common to you guys, of course, you can utilize any kind of an external service to create phishing links. So what I, just as an example, what I can just do is, I am making that transfer to HTTPS and google.com. So this how I am just transferring it to my phishing page. Okay. Now I just clicked on send, and very soon it will be appearing in my inbox too. So yeah, so me. So this how you can. So this how, although it's looking up a bit a kind of an, I have not used the CSS format here, but the real hackers will be utilizing that. But you, as you can just see over there, as soon as I will be clicking over this particular link, I can just make this like, I can just replace this link as a kind of an button, right? Which can be a kind of an attractive to the victims, or I can make up a kind of a luring email. What luring means is, luring means that you are convincing your victim to click on that link. As soon as I will be clicking on that link, you can see this particular link is actually redirecting to google.com, irrespective how the main email template has been reflecting it to their main email ID, right? This is the trick which can actually be utilized to copy any kind of an email template, right? You can just copy that particular email and template, just go to notepad and save that, and save it as a kind of an uh, you can just definitely save it as a kind of an .html file. So now what I can just do is, I hope this has been particularly a bit clear to you guys. If there
Yes.
would be any questions, you guys can definitely. So is my screen again available? The PPT is again on, I guess.
Yes, everything is fine. You're visible and your voice is clear. PPT is going on. Okay.
Okay, that's great. So how to identify? Okay, so I have received out few of the questions. So this question can be actually taken right now. So will we get to know how to exploit Zoom? Okay, definitely you will get to know how to identify such loopholes. So here the loopholes is, right? Ki how to identify these kind of fake email headers. So now I will be making you aware. So this is something which I have already explained. Like, this is the email template game and payload installer. Behind that particular link which I have redirected to google.com, I must have redirected to my payload installation. Like, I must have uploaded my kind of a software or an hacking app which I have customizingly made using Kali Linux or any kind of such hacking platform, and have uploaded it to any kind of an downloadable platform where as soon as you will be clicking over that link, that will be downloaded in backend without your knowledge, and your phone will be at risk. Okay, so let's move further. So before using telemarketing fraud, I will let you know and sharing my screen to analyze everything and how to actually take out the social attacks, like how to do social attacks, how to hack Facebook, how do hackers are actually like hacking out Instagram and Facebook, right? So I hope that my screen is again visible.
It's taking a bit long. Yes, it's visible now.
Okay, so I have went again came into my Gmail account. Now, guys, what I am just doing is, you all are aware that, okay, so let's do one thing. Before opening that, what I can just do is, I am making you aware how you can analyze email headers. Okay, so email headers are what email headers are. So take it as an example. uh, since I have received this particular email, I am not actually getting to know from where this email has come until and unless I am not clicking on this show details option. I hope it is visible. I have just zoomed in. So in this particular drop down area, you just need to click on, and this is known as header. Okay, this is known as email header. So this is known as email header template dipanshu parashar 12 at the rate gmail.com, which shows that this particular stuff has been came to me from Dipanshu Parashar. Okay, so what I am just doing is, there is a tool which is known as mkey.cz. So there are a lot of tools. I definitely uh, appreciate all these tools. You can definitely make your own tools too. So this is a fake mailer. Why this is known as a fake mailer? This is known as a fake mailer because you just, I need to accept the risk for sure. So why this is known as fake mailer? Because this will duplicate up your email header. Like this, what I will be just doing is, I will be sending the email ID from a random account, and that is an authorized email account. Take it as an example. Now what, again, from name, there I am just typing it from Pankaj. So so random, Pankaj Tripathi. Now from email, so isa pankaj at the rate gmail.com to Dipanshu Parash, my email ID. Subject, congrats. Okay, and copy text. So hey, we are changing the header. Okay, so okay, header. So now what I does that, send. This will actually change the email header. Okay, and I will let you know how to analyze these email headers by visiting show original profile. So I just again went to and see. I received up an email from Pankaj Tripathi. Congrats. I clicked on this particular email, although it is showing this because that is what Google is having DMARC record enabled. Okay, so you need to understand, you need to recall those three main records: SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. Now, guys, being frank, if I have received this particular email, or if I have received anything in my spam folder, that particular attacker, in this particular case, I am the attacker itself who have hacked into isa pankaj at the rate gmail.com and use his header. Now you can just see I have successfully changed the header isa pankaj, and this is a valid email ID. This is not a kind of an available email ID. This is validated email ID, which is belonging to anyone. So now what I can just do is, how to analyze this kind of platform. There are three dots which can be visible to you, right? Just click on this. Here it is, it will be showing you show original. Click on this show original. Up now, see this SPF record. Okay, SPF record, soft mail with IP this. Now what does it mean? That my this particular attack has successfully passed my SPF record and DKIM record, but has been severely failed in DMARC record. That's why it is showing this particular message. Be careful with this message and this all, which can be included in phishing. Right? Now what I can just do is, I need to identify the source of this email ID. So first thing, the first pro tip to be safe from these kind of scams is, like, to deal with the WHO scam, or to be preventive from these kind of scams. That is this, to analyze the email headers. And if even so you are feeling that yes, this is a kind of a suspicious mail, you just need to click on show original, and here you will be. Now what you can just see is, I will definitely try to okay, so see this, received. okay, received from localhost mkey.cz and this particular IP. I have got the IP of the server which has made this particular email and have got mkey.cz. Okay, so I just analyzed that this particular thing has been sent from this fake mailer. And this how I can analyze or can prevent from these kind of loopholes by analyzing it in the going into the show header message. Okay, so I hope this would be a kind of a cool stuff to you. And if you are definitely trying to understand more about this kind of email templates, I will strongly condemn you to you to read more about SPF records, DMARC records, and DKIM records. So this will be helping you a lot. If there would be any questions regarding this particular phase of this particular of this workshop, so just comment out there. So again, so yeah, so will this webinar. Okay, so this webinar will be, I will share the link of this webinar, or the Elite SPM will be sharing you the link. So that has been on recording procedure. So now again, I am shifting it to the broadcast screen. So I hope that now it has been like you all are understood about this particular stuff. If there would be any queries, you can definitely ask. Great. So few more questions we have came into the place. So what was the risk in opening that site which helps in making false email ID? Okay, okay, I will be letting you know how to bypass DMR. Okay, so it is DMARC record and or okay, so email spoofing. But doesn't Gmail warn you saying that we could not verify the source of this email? Okay, wait a second. So the questions have been a pretty bit fine and should be answered very well. So the point is the risk in opening this particular MT fake mailer is that it is utilizing PHP script. This is working on the PHP script, and all these hackers which have been taking or which have been increasing the crime rate tremendously. So that's why they are utilizing this. So that's why your antivirus detects the PHP and JavaScript and give you a kind of a short warning. Okay, so I hope now you are aware what was the risk. Now, when it comes to the
Dipanshu,
question, yes, sir.
yes, I just want to say that the questions which you have already answered, just mark them as an answer, okay? So that
Okay,
everyone can see the answered questions and which all are remaining, okay?
okay, so I think then I need to then add reply. I need to click on add reply and have to manually type them.
Okay, just say mark as yes, okay?
Okay, okay, then great.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Yes,
sure,
please continue.
great. So okay, so now guys, before if there would be any kind of thing, what I can just make you aware is, as I have just shown you the template of WHO, like how I copied that particular template. Okay, so Anas sir, I will be like would like to ask you that can I show the kind of how hackers are actually making or taking the social accounts?
Uh, let's keep that for the another session, like when we will
Okay,
be deeply discussing on this hacking
okay, that's
part
great.
only.
That's
Okay,
great. Okay, so even guys, I also want you to make you aware with the most exclusive stuff, and that is telemarketing fraud. So this is one of the like one of my favorite topic to discuss about. Okay, so guys,
great.
telemarketing fraud is all about which have came into the view from from 2006 to 2012, but still this particular fraud is prevailing tremendously. So I will make you aware how this telemarketing fraud is going on. So what happens is that suppose I have purchased a domain and using Google AdWords, I ranked my particular domain at kind of like I just put it into the advertisement. So Google will be showing the my domain at a particular rank. Now, this is all a kind of a digital marketing techniques. Now, what the point is, I have added a kind of a JavaScript code in my index page, which hasn't been decoded by Google because I have completely like whatever the portion of JavaScript, I have encrypted it into the base64 format, and that's why Google is not able to detect base64 format, and this how I bypass the Google verification of my domain. I hope it's sounding clear. Okay, so once again, if I have used JavaScript in my particular index HTML, what JavaScript do? JavaScript is responsible to create alerts. What alerts are? Most of the time, when you are visiting any kind of a website, you must have seen a kind of an pop-up arrive, which is not belonging to that particular website, but it seems that your computer has popped it out, right? Like your like this website can be not safe to use, or you can contact us at this particular number. What telemarketing fraud is all about? So when Microsoft was came into view, what hackers do? Hackers created this particular JavaScript code and have enabled them in their particular domains and put it into the Google advertisement. So now Google started advertising their domains or whatever the content they have, right? Now, as soon as suppose I am a visitor, I visited to that particular domain, right? I will be okay. So how this works? Let's move to this. First before,
Dipanshu, please turn on your webcam.
okay, I have turned my webcam on.
Okay, okay. Uh, I think it's not visible. Okay, just try disconnecting and connecting again the webcam. Okay,
Okay, just a second.
so that your video will be available to
Yeah,
all.
is it visible now?
Uh, yes.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, it's visible,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Great.
Great. Continue.
Okay. So, guys, telemarketing fraud. Before doing any kind of stuff, let's get to know more about this. Telemarketing fraud are of many types. Let me explain you with a scenario. Many times you visit few websites and a pop-up arrives asking you that your computer has been infected from virus and it is needed to be restored, which their technical support team can fix it. Right? Which their technical support team can fix it. Right? Now, what the stuff I have enabled is, let's move how this works. So this is actually working on a JavaScript code. You can just read it for your kind of for your just kind of in sake of information. So I am reading it from here. Scammers take remote connection and then install a normal antivirus software or clear the disk spaces, which is pretended to be like pro virus removal. While payment procedure, since it is on remote connection, card details are visible. I will be showing you how this works. So I am again sharing my screen and have already made a kind of an JavaScript code for that. Okay, so see, I hope my desktop is visible to you guys.
Yes.
Okay, so what I just did is tech support. So this kind of a scam was most famous or got famous just by this name, tech support. I just entered this website, right? I just clicked on that particular file and see what happened. This page says, warning, internet security breached. A suspicious connection has breached and accessed your logins, banking details, and personal data. This is completely fake, guys. Guys, this is completely fake. This is something which I have customizingly mading out from the JavaScript. Your TCP connection, what I have just done is I have used few of the technical terms so that normal users can feel like, yes, this is something which has been attacking over our systems and we need to fix it as soon as possible, right? So now you
Yes.
can see this main part. Immediate action required. Call on this particular number, right? Microsoft has tried to seal the penetration in your hard drive. However, further patching up is required on your internet sockets, and it is essential to diagnose the extent of damage done. Okay, now once again, what I am just doing is I am opening another file. I have prepared three major scripts. Okay, just a second. I think this script isn't working. So the main script warning. Yeah, I hope this works. Okay, just see this. This is known as a blue screen code, guys. Now you can just see over here. I have put up a number. Please contact certified technicians at toll-free number. Now, what hackers do? Hackers take up a kind of a toll-free number which can be costing you around 1500 rupees per month itself. And now, suppose if I am an attacker and I made this particular JavaScript code at my website and enabled Google advertising, right? Now what people are doing, people are visiting my profile, visiting my website, and their screen will be appearing like this. Now why this particular fraud hasn't been coming in view, like these kind of frauds are not running now, otherwise there these, okay, I will explain in the later part of this video. Before that, I have just added this particular number. Now the people or the victims who are visiting my website, they will feel that their computer has been attacked, and see what I have added: Windows health is critical, do not restart. So now person will be getting into a kind of a damage loss, and that's why they will be contact me on this number. Since this particular number I have registered for this particular illegal work, I will just pick up the call and will explain them that yes, sir, your system has been infected from a severe virus, and if not being corrected at this particular time, your computer will be at risk, and you will you will make your all the files at a loss, right? Now what I will be just asking, sir, I need to charge you, take as an example, so 200 rupees. I will charge you rupees 200 and just download this particular software, right? I will be providing them a software that can be at that particular time TeamViewer was getting at a kind of an high pace, such like Zoom is getting pace now. So TeamViewer was getting so fame. So people will download out the TeamViewer. I will be providing them an ID. Now what I will be just doing is since I am having a remote connection, I will install a normal antivirus, right? Since these are the normal people, and to be very frank, guys, the attackers are actually not targeting Indians, but these attackers are Indians, being frank. And this has been disclosed in the Washington Post. All these kind of tech support scams have been arise from India. Like we Indians are seriously focusing upon the illegal works, and most of the victims have been found in kind of like West regions belonging to America, belonging to California, because these people are someone who are having a kind of a rich in money, and that's why they can just like, okay, so my computer has been infected, take out money and just make my computer correct. I hope it's making a logical sense, right?
Yes.
So this how I will be just using the remote connection, and now after installing this particular stuff, what I will just do is I will ask him to do net banking, and will provide a kind of a fake bank account which hackers can usually create. And this how, while he was entering his card details, so the biggest problem is in America too. In America till now, in India, there are two-factor authentication. Like while you are utilizing credit card, you will receive an OTP, but in America it isn't, right? So they will be not receiving any kind of an OTP till the time, like at the end of the month when the audit will be taking place. Till that time, there will be no kind of a single of a clue from where the amount has been withdrawn. And due to the remote connection, I will be able to steal all the credentials, including CVV, including card details, and including this kind of spam, this kind of like what the expiration date, right? So I hope this particular session has been clear. This telemarketing particular stuff has been clear, right? Okay, so a lot of long list of questions. So not visible, so unable to load material. Good, not audible. So, sir, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible, and just try to disconnect and reconnect your camera again, because you have switched from sharing your screen entire tab to slide. Okay.
Okay, just a second, Dan. Okay, so I hope I am visible now. Yeah.
Yes, yes, you are
Okay.
visible now. Great.
So, okay, so how to protect our social media account? Can you make webinar of social media account protection? Definitely. Like we will definitely be looking for another webinar with a light SPM too. So, like, thank you so much, sir, once again.
Yes,
This feels seriously proud. So,
soon we will be hosting you again with this energy, and the content is really awesome. I think
okay.
audience is really enjoying this
Yeah,
and
sure. So, in
learning a
fact,
lot.
one of the most important part is very soon coming into the view, and that is Zoom recording. And being frank, audience, what I have just prepared a kind of an exclusive report for Zoom, which you can never find, and that's why I just put it at the last. So,
Yes,
guys, now what I'm just doing is, there is a question how to protect our social media account. Uh, okay, so Instalinga Hagidal. Actually, you can definitely just search it over a Google. It's more like a kind of a common query. How to protect your social media account, just like enable two-factor authentication and all that. So as my scene, if there is non-technical person and they see like this page, he will close page or else close browser. Okay, that's a kind of a good question. And then how we can check the credibility of site when it is appears. Okay, that's great. So I am replying to this particular, yeah. So I am replying to this particular question. So suppose, okay, so Henry asked me that if a non-technical person will be seeing this kind of window, so he will normally close it. Henry, I would like to highlight the fact that JavaScript has come up a view that will disable your close tab. Like your close button in your Chrome browser will be disabled, right? And you just need to restart your computer. And I have already uploaded on the script that don't restart your computer. So I hope it's sounding logical now. So this how, just using out few of the modification, I can disable my Chrome browser. I didn't included that part in this JavaScript because we are currently live over the webinar, right? So you can
yes,
definitely find it. So yeah, will we get a list of Zoom vulnerabilities and how they are exploited? Yes, not that I intend to exploit them. I will not be showcasing how to exploit up the Zoom because Zoom has come up with a patch of version 5. So 5.0 is the new version of the Zoom, and that has like completely gone through all the security measures, and now hackers cannot exploit them. But I will be disclosing all the previous three versions which are exclusively in need to discuss upon, right? And why Zoom was taken up in a place like you must have read out the articles. Okay, so let's move on to this topic very soon. Okay, so that's cool. So our topic is Zoom security flaws. So finally, so what I'm just doing is let's move. Zoom, one of the most used video conferencing software, has been hacked. That's true. So Zoom security features. Now, guys, you just need to read this. If you are a bit technical, you will definitely understanding this particular slide. So the point is, Zoom Video Communications Inc. provides a cloud-based platform for video, voice, content sharing, and chat that runs across mobile devices, desktops, telephones, and room systems. Following are some of the security features. Okay, you all are aware that what are ports, right? Ports are the kind of a nodes which are connecting your system to the internet, and a lot of special applications are running to these ports, and ports are the internet authorities. So now, when it comes to the infrastructure of Zoom security features, firewall compatibility, where the client connects via HTTPS. So HTTPS port runs on 443, and that is known as TLS, to Zoom servers to obtain information required for connecting to the applicable meeting or webinar. The client will determine the best method for real-time communication, attempting to connect automatically using preferred UDP and TCP ports 8801, 8802, and 8804. This is something which you will never find over internet, like what were the ports on which Zoom was running. The point is, guys, there is a kind of a single line difference between TCP ports and UDP ports. The point is, TCP ports are more secure than UDP. Okay, and UDP ports are usually preferred while making out the servers or while running out the servers, especially dedicated for gaming, especially dedicated for video conferencing apps. So we are not aware, by like there could be a possibility that Zoho could be running on UDP, right? So why Zoom got into an hacking platform? Because TCP ports are a kind of a more secure but are more complicated to install. More complicated or most complicated, we can say. That's why, just in the kind of an hurry to launch up their products, just in a kind of an hurry to make their product go at a high pace, instead of using TCP ports, which can be run on 8801, 8802, they switched to UDP port, right? And that's because of UDP port, Zoom security flaws has come into view. Now I will let you explain what were the Zoom security flaws. So, role-based user security. I have divided this particular session into a few of the few of the role measures. So we'll be discussing upon that. Before that, we got up two questions. So, have you any bug bounty free codes? So if someone does an MITM attack on 8801, 8804, then can the attacker pull data packets of the connection, or are they encrypted? That's a very nice question, Sanjay Bardwaj. So, guys, let me explain you whosoever is not aware what MITM is. MITM is known as man in the middle attack. How it is working? Suppose if I and Anas sir are getting connected, right? And now I am sending up a mail, or I am getting a kind of a video conferencing with him over the Zoom. Since Zoom is utilizing UDP port, right? By the way, Sanjam, you got it a kind of you just misinterpreted it. But okay, let me clarify that. So, since Zoom is running over the UDP port, what Sanjam is trying to clarify is that since it is running on UDP port, someone in the middle can, like, whatever the, okay, suppose I just chat out, I just text Anas sir that the webinar is awesome, right? Between, like, till the time this particular message will be reaching to Anas system, someone else, or an attacker who is known as the man, will be coming in the between of our mutual communication and will be intercepting this particular message, and can even change that. So that's what Sanjam is asking, that is this possible in Zoom? So the clear answer is no. None of the security measures or none of the security, like, previous breaches have been highlighting this fact. The point is, guys, why UDP port I have configured is that just because of the UDP port, a lot of hacking tools have been made. What these hacking tools were doing is, these hacking tools were just in a second, just in a kind of a millisecond, you can get hundred of Zoom IDs, the hundred of Zoom meeting IDs which are not password protected. Right. I hope now it is clear what UDP and what that port is. Yeah, TCP port is. Right. So not to change, but to intercept and read. Okay, so even not to intercept and read, none of them could actually do it. Sanjan, the point that why Zoom came into the highlight is that these meeting IDs and your passwords were getting viral. How these, like, that's why a term came into an existence, and that is, I hope I have included that. Okay, I think I haven't, but yeah, no worries. there is a term which has been like very soon grabbed by Wikipedia, and that is known as Zoom bombing. If you are having a meeting ID, or if you are having an password of that meeting ID, you can just definitely enroll it, right? So before that, just get into this meeting security. So end-to-end encryption of the meeting that is in progress, which uses AES 256 encryption. Guys, I will definitely like strongly condemn you to take screenshots of this, because after the session, this particular stuff will not be available to you. Trust me. So although in the recording part, but you can definitely take it, or a kind of make notes, which will be just appearing over your screen, right? So
Yes, please take the screenshots as well. Just after the session, you guys can just put the screenshot and tag us on the social media as well, and comment there. And also tag the Dipanshu. We will highlight his account at the end of this session. Okay.
okay,
Yes.
so here okay, Harry Potter. Okay, so but hacker can take control of all systems. That how possible? Okay, good question. So answering that, just be patient, guys. Again, question. So what dialing while will Zoom bomb by trying to brute force Zoom IDs, and will the war dialer ever be released to the public? Okay, just wait a second. Okay, so I think I need to explain it to you guys more clearly. So great. Okay, great. So, okay, so if you are actually trying to understand the backend process of Zoom is na, then you need to understand. Hello, hello.
Hello. Yes. Hello.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Yeah, yeah, sir. Am I
Yes.
visible?
Yes. You are. Your video is not working fine, but you are audible.
Okay, okay, great, great. Oh, okay. Just a second,
Now
guys.
you are
I'm just
visible.
again. I'm switching it. Yeah. So okay, great. So now, guys, if you need to understand the process or the backend process behind Zoom, like how hackers have been into the Zoom account, or how they take over the controls of all these people, you need to understand AES 256 encryption. To be very frank, this complete topic is like a kind of a more deviated one. The point is that encryptions and decryptions are the part of cryptography. And being frank, Zoom hasn't been taking care of the cryptographical rules, right? There are a lot of things which you need to be understand. So there are stuff which are known as honeypots. I hope you all are aware with what honeypots are. Honeypots are the fake systems. Like if I am an hacker and if I am trying to hack into any kind of a Zoom account, they will be a kind of a trap to me. Honey trap. Like if I am a kind of an honeybee, I will be just getting attracted to that honey, and I will be just stuck into that particular pot.
So it's
That's why
more
it is
like
known as.
fishing. I think it's more like fishing.
No, sir.
Or
Fishing is, yeah, sir, fishing is something like creating a kind of an, yeah, okay, so you can actually link phishing when it comes to web application, and you can like you okay, so phishing is something which an individual can do, right? Like I just copied the source code and I just changed the action tab and just uploaded that, so that whatever the password they will be doing, I will be getting. But what honeypot do is, this is more a kind of an exclusive information, you should take care of this. Honeypot is a kind of an system. It is not a kind of a hardware or software device, right? It is not a software. You need to manually install it, and they are usually running on Linux or Ubuntu servers. Even I am trying hard to build a kind of an honeypot from the last 2 weeks. So what honeypot do is, suppose you are an attacker and you are attacking over my system, right? You will be thinking that you are successfully attacking into my system, but that will not be my system. That is a clone of my system, right?
okay.
So you will be regularly attacking my or attacking my the particular clone system, as well as your complete logs, like whatever you have performed or whatever you have tried, that will be coming to my into my logs files. So this how, as a kind of an preventer or a kind of an honeypot establisher, I can just check out whatever you have tried to hack my system. Okay, so it's more like, so zoom hasn't Zoom hasn't actually taken care of the honeypot system. Yeah, AES 256 is a hash encryption, that's true. And honeypot, hotspot, MITM attack. And if AES isn't that secure, then why don't they use MD? Okay, being frank, Sanjam, MD5 hash is something which is so basic. Being frank, so the point is MD5 hash and SHA 256 hash. These are something which you can manually install. Then how you can actually assume that Zoom, such kind of an booming technology, can use these kind of encryptions? AES 256 encryption is one of the most secure encryption, but the problem is that E6, the first part is AES 256, and the second part is they are running it on the UDP system. They are
Okay.
utilizing UDP ports instead of TCP ports, right? So let's move on. So Zoom has actually industry certification from SOC-T, Trust-T, and FedRAMP, all these kind of basic information. So now let's move to the Zoom security patch release. So just in the April, from 5th April, it came into the view in the Washington Post, in the Rediff Mail, that Zoom has discovered a kind of a security patch where 5 lakh plus accounts have been breached out over dark web, right? Most of them accounts were belonging to Pakistan, and the point was all these 5 lakh major accounts were belonging to that particular area. Why? So these particular accounts were getting sold over dark web in just rupees, not even rupees, 0.15 paisa. Okay, so just in 1 rupees you can get at least 5 accounts. You can get at least 5 accounts, so that you can just get into their meetings just in 1 rupees. And that's why Zoom faced a kind of a serious loss, not just because of the security overview, even because of the, like, the stocks have been tremendously the stocks went tremendously down. So again a
Okay.
question. So they must also be using salted hashes, right? In case of a password breach of users, then attackers can't use rainbow tables to crack the hashes. That's what actually hackers did. That's what actually hackers did. Okay. So now once again, so on 5th April it came into view. On April 8th, they released their first patch. The first patch was new toolbar presented to the host, which is classified as security toolbar, and provides the host and co-host with advanced security controls over the meeting users. Implementation of waiting rooms and the ability of the host to control who joins the meeting are implemented. And meeting IDs are hidden and password protected meetings are enabled. Okay, so I hope this is more. I have written it in simple English. So on April 16th, they again faced up a loss and they released another patch. The patch was password enabled meetings are enhanced with complex password requirements. Okay, the second stuff is the ability of random message ID generation to 11 digits and other security enhancement implementation. So before April 16th, Zoom was working on a random message ID generation which was not having 11 digits. That was stopping around at 8 digits or 9 digits. Okay. So the ability, okay, so after that particular two, now the version 5 of Zoom came into light, and that's what actually currently going on. That is on April 19th, 2020 update. Okay, so here it is. The encryption in Zoom has been enhanced. Okay, so Sanjam, it is mostly important for you or for everyone who want to understand this particular stuff. So the encryption in Zoom has been enhanced, which uses Zoom phone SIP signaling communications from the client to server occur over TLS version 1.2 with AES 256-bit encryption. It's more like being a not bit technical. This is something they have enhanced their encryption facility as well as their signaling power. So selection of data centers regions for meeting and webinar traffic. So Zoom has established their bases in most of the countries now. Additional data centers details and dashboards such as information about HTTP tunnel are present. Okay, so settings allowing the host to report participants to Zoom. So now there's a feature where you can just report any kind of a user in Zoom too if he or she is founding suspicious. Now control access to call recordings in place. So now you can even do call like recording in the Zoom part in the Zoom application. Require minimum length for voicemail pins implementation. You will not getting this because this is for the premium users who are utilizing or who are paying 2500 rupees per month to Zoom. Updated routing options have been implemented. I think that sounds cool. Now moving to this. Okay, so I think this would be a kind of an last slide. Before moving that, I would like to okay, honeypots is making him feel like okay, so great. Okay, so now guys, we have come to the last of the session, and now how to deal with the Zoom Zoom app. Guys, the point is there are a lot of internet alternatives which are running, and that's why we have even switched over Zoho, right? Now the point is there are a lot of more alternatives such like WebEx. More recent tool has come into a view, that is Microsoft Team, right? So once again, what I'm gonna see is people, and just a second. So, okay, so they are right now 57 attendees. So this is the right time to disclose something very cool now. So guys, okay, Anasa, I would just like to ask you, can I just attach a handout right now? Okay, I think I'm not. Hello. Okay, so Zain sir, can you just guide me how to actually just cover a kind of an handout? Actually, the point was that I wasn't able to. Okay, so I wasn't able to just attach the particular handout at that time. So no worries, guys. I will be just giving to you that over your mail IDs. We all are having your mail IDs, and I will be personally mailing you all that particular handout. So presently, which is better, Google Meet or Zoom? Google Meet is much better, guys. So even Microsoft Teams found a vulnerability which could hack accounts with a GIF image. It's more like a steganography trick, which you can say. So before moving on, now you guys can definitely utilize Zoom. Being frank, now you can utilize Zoom because Zoom is no longer having any kind of a vulnerability which has come into a view from the last 5 to 6 days. And the point is, updated Zoom clients, password protect meetings. You should be taking care of all this privacy measures to make your Zoom a kind of an elite purpose, right? So avoiding personal meeting ID in public meetings. Okay, so personal meeting ID is something you are familiar if you have ever hosted up any kind of a meeting over Zoom. Zoom provides you two features: private ID and public ID. So whenever you are hosting a kind of a public meeting, which is known as non-password protected, like which can be open to anyone or anyone can join it without password. So this how, yeah, so this how you can you should not use your private meeting ID in this kind of public meetings. Okay, so okay, so guys, now what I will be just doing is, since this session was all about like just got into a boom of Zoom features and telemarketing fraud. Okay guys, by the way, have you enjoyed out this particular session? I will be so glad. I have just okay, so there would be a kind of an there would be a kind of an rating for you, so you guys can just definitely comment over there so that I can just get up an idea and can improve our powers too. And this how we can, can even improve our skills. So that would be great. So okay, so 16 ratings, 16 5-star ratings, that's 17, that's cool. So I am even enjoying that, and thank you so much for Elite SPM2 for hosting up this. So very informative and valuable, sir. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Once again, whosoever have been like just be there till, like just till right now, when we are already past with 1 hour 2 minutes, we all have enjoyed this particular session. At the end of the session, I have like we all guys are having your email IDs. Now what we can just do is, I on the personal level, or if you are knowing me personally, you can just contact me via email. My email is dipanshuparashar12@gmail.com, and I will be just forwarding you that particular handout. I guess the I can't add any kind of an handout right now. Otherwise, I must have done that. So yeah, not now, but definitely I will just letting you know all. So before that, guys, what I can just even do is, yeah, what is it, what it is related to, it is all related to, okay, so it is all related to Zoom privacy measures, whatever I have explained in this particular patch measures, and whatever I have in like included in this role based user security in more detail, right? In more detail, I have just explained in that particular PDF format. So no worries, what I can just do is that will be available to you guys over a particular link after the session, and that link is bit.ly or bit.ly, and you can just type out then kind of Zoom research. Okay, so bit.ly/Zoom research. Okay, so that would be going fine then. Yeah, so great. So guys, thank you so much once again. The the that's absolutely gone fine. So Anas sir, are you here? Yeah. Is there any question, guys? I will definitely like. Okay, so can you explain UDP and TCP briefly again? Okay, sure. Okay, guys, if you are having any kind of question, now the forum is open for having out a core discussion above your question. So if you thinks that Ankit sir, I missed the session, no worries. We will definitely try to make that particular call recording available to you guys. So make bug bounty webinar, definitely we will definitely, yeah. So bit.ly/Zoom research. So very soon you will be I will be just uploading that particular document, and after an hour you can go to this particular domain and can find out that particular research material. Okay. So before that, any questions? So TCP and UDP ports you were asking, I guess, right? So, guys, the point is that you can definitely just search about TCP and UDP port. That is more like having not a kind of a more like it's not more like a kind of a yeah bit.ly Zoom research is not more like a complicated process to understand. This is more like a kind just of an internet protocols which have been came into the place recently. So yeah, so that's all from my side, guys. I hope you all have enjoyed this particular session, and this was seriously a pen indeed a kind of an amazing task to me. And like you all are aware now, like just see 25-star ratings and 3 ratings of 4 stars. So thank you so much, guys, for this love and support. And the seriously overwhelming. Now you can definitely follow me out if you feel that if there would be any kind of an issue. Otherwise, Anas sir, are you here? Hello. Yeah, I think that Anas sir isn't there. But how to hack with Zanti? That's more like a kind of an different topic, and we will definitely conducting another webinar over there.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, Anas.
yes,
Yeah. Okay. Great. 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 So Anas sir, I was
actually,
yeah.
yes, yes. Please continue,
Yeah. So,
Dipanshu.
Anasa, I would just like to ask you that we are coming up with a kind of an forum that is the cyberagents.com, like a kind of an customized social media platform. So, can I just disclose it here if
Yes,
you allow me?
yes, of course, yes.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Okay, so guys, the point is that tomorrow, exactly at around 3 or 4 in the evening, we guys are releasing our own social media platform that is the cyberagents.com, THECYBERAGNTS.com. Here, this particular social media platform is only dedicated for three particular users, and that are who are passionate in cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and blockchain. So it is more like a kind of an CAB community, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and blockchain. So till from tomorrow, you guys can just go to that particular social media website, register yourself. You will be getting up an email for verification. Just click on the email and verify yourself. And here you can chat with your friends, can create groups, can create your public IDs, can create your verification systems are also there. This particular social media platform is having all the features of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, and LinkedIn. So you can even get job vacancies over there, right? And if you think that you are already aware and you are sharing out a lot of valuable information, we guys will be verifying you. So even Elite SPM is getting verified tomorrow itself, with including Mohammad Anas sir, Zain Saeed sir, and Babulal sir, of course, with a huge respect to all these three who have hosted this particular webinar at an amazing pace. And like seriously, it was an overwhelming session for me too. So can you please
Yes,
repeat the app
actually,
name?
yes. Just
Okay.
type and drop the name, and
Yeah, the
it,
cyberagents.com. Right now, it will be showing you a maintenance mode. Tomorrow, after 12 or after 3 in the evening, you will be showing the complete registration process and can just like make out your kind of an online communities. That would be more helpful for you to build up your own personal brand and to learn a lot. So, why we just switched over there is like you must have seen on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, you will be seeing a lot of random results. But here, even if you will be viewing a kind of an random post, that will be even beneficial for you because that would be regarding your niche. Okay, so I hope that sounds cool. So Anasa, is there anything you guys
yes,
need me to
uh,
explain?
yes. Before concluding this session, I would just like to ask whether all the questions has been answered. Is there anyone who has whose question is unanswered yet?
Yeah,
If
sir.
so, just comment on a chat. And I think one more question is there.
Sir,
New
there are a lot
question.
of questions. There are a lot of
Okay.
questions, but the point is
Okay.
that okay, so
Uh, so what's your question?
like there are questions too, but the point is like shall I answer them like whatever I have answered, shall I just make them add reply as yes? I have answered
Yes.
like majority of them I have answered already.
Okay, great. So if
So
you have
yeah,
already answered, it's fine. If anyone has any other question apart from it, right now we are just going to conclude the session because
okay,
it's already one
okay,
hour and
great.
9 minutes.
Yeah. So here
Okay.
a question is: are you in the Whitehead Society group or WhatsApp? Okay, so guys, I am in the WhatsApp or Whitehead Society group, so you can definitely get in touch with me over there just by tagging my name. Okay, so that would be even beneficial for you. And there are a lot of people who are asking me that what like difference between the how to make a kind of an bug bounty program. So guys, I am available over YouTube. You just need to search the cyberagents.com and you will be redirected to the YouTube channel where I am definitely like on the daily basis. I am sharing out completely whatever the stuff we are doing on. So before moving on, before concluding, sir, and before having up a kind of a goodbye from you, I just need to make you aware with a few basic things where I will be available after this session. Okay, so you guys can definitely come over there and can meet me. And can get in touch with me. So the domain is the cyberagents.com, which will be up for you from tomorrow onwards. Okay, and right now, okay, I think that it will be showing. Okay, so you just need to enter over here the cyber agents, what we are actually running from the last 3 days, 188 subscribers, and this cyber agents. There are 7 videos recently I have uploaded Google Docs, so you can learn a lot of stuff for there. So as you can see over there, we will be back soon. So from tomorrow you can register yourself. Okay, so take care guys.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Uh, Thank you very much, Dipanshu, for this wonderful and amazing session, and the people who has joined us. Thank you everyone for joining us, especially Babulal sir. He is with us and he's listening this session. And
Definitely, sir. Like,
we,
definitely a lot
we,
of a huge respect to Babilal, sir.
yes, and you have attached the handouts to this session. If anyone is willing to just download that handouts, and we will be availing the recorded session soon via email. Further information will be circulated via email. And if you have any queries, you can just drop us an email or a message. Okay. And thank you very much, Zain Saeed, for coordinating with us. And Dipanshu, I would like to thank you like from bottom of my heart because you have taken your precious time to just
Definitely,
share your
sir.
content.
It was my pleasure, and thank you so much to you guys who are like just doing hard work day and night to like host up these kind of webinars. And guys, I would just like to urge you that whatever the webinars will be coming in the future from Elite SPM, do attend. Similar to the valuable information have been shared in this particular webinar, you guys will be getting a lot more valuable information in the upcoming webinars too. So do join them.
Yes, we will be coming up with a series of webinars. This is a very first webinar, and I think this is such an amazing webinar. Okay, and soon we will be continuing with another sessions with you and Babulal sir as well. Okay,
Definitely, sir.
thank you everyone. And if you want to conclude further, and after that we can just request the audience to exit and conclude. Just exit the session. Okay.
Okay, sure, sir. Okay, sir, before leaving, I would just like to ask, so should I just click over the end or I should stop recording over here?
Just first stop recording and ask anyone if I think they have some further comments. Okay, nothing else left. Just we can quit now. Okay,
Okay, sure.
exit.
Okay, so before leaving, okay, guys, so Dharya has just pinned out something. So before leaving a kind of a note from my side, if you are having any kind of an cyber fraud or if you have faced any kind of a cyber fraud, we are up over with our own portal that is report.thecyberagents.com. You can file up your complaint over there, and our investigation team of 25 members will be helping you out to just to make yourself safe. So thank you so much, guys, once again, and so much gratitude to the Elite SPM team. Okay, then. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Goodbye.